Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started. We're a small group today, but in the course of the last 4 weeks, we've actually been a very large group, a large community of people who have been involved with this program. Thank you for coming to this ceremony, which concludes our 2023 internship program. I'm looking at the interns. I'm sad to see you leaving us. This has been our fourth internship program. We started it in 2018, but then we skipped 20 and 21 during the pandemic and restarted again last year. Each year we try to make little improvements and sort of expand the opportunities that we can provide for the interns, and so we're really grateful to those of you in the room and many people who are not in this room, and I'll mention them, who helped and supported us and provided the interns with really great learning opportunities. I have to first thank the SMPS Family Fund. This is coordinated by Jane and Bob Nathanson, and they have been the exclusive funders of this internship for all 4 years. I mean, we do get support from other organizations for our Age-Friendly Teaneck work, but the SMPS Family Fund has generously funded this internship program for 4 years now. And so we're tremendously grateful to them and to Ellen Rand, who is here, who really made the connection between us and the Family Fund and has put together the applications each year and some of the reporting. Ellen is also a journalist, an author, and volunteer, and she puts a tremendous amount of time into the planning of this internship, the development of the curriculum, the coordination, and then during the internship, facilitating some of our programs, including Media Monday, which can also be Media Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, and also mentoring the students as they work on their projects, which you'll be seeing shortly. I also want to thank Colleen Diskin, who took a lead role this summer in coordinating and really managing this internship in absence of EJ Vizzy, who I think has a lot more energy than we do. But anyway, but Colleen, and 2 dogs. Yeah, so for those of you who know EJ or knew EJ, EJ just had her second little boy. She's now got 2 boys under the age of 18 months. And an old dog and a puppy who is 3 months old. And of course, Jackie Cates, our wonderful project advisor, and everybody knows Jackie Cates, our former mayor of Teaneck, and we're really fortunate to have her on our team. Most important is our relationship with Teaneck High School, and we are so grateful for the team at Teaneck High School. While this internship is open to any Teaneck resident who's a high school student, historically, the past 4 years, the students have all come from Teaneck High School. And I've really been privileged to be always part of the team that interviews the students. And typically we get, say 20 or 30 applications, we narrow it down, and then we spend a few hours. This year it was Ellen and me interviewing a dozen or so students, and we're just amazed at the caliber of the students, the enthusiasm. They're so bright and motivated, and so it really is very hard to make a selection, but I think we did good this summer. We have 4 really great student interns. So we really want to thank Yvonne Witter, who is the Employment and Community Outreach Counselor, and the principal, who is here with us today. Welcome, Pedro Valdez III. I'm sorry?
Oh, you did say principal?
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I got scared for a minute. Before I go any further, I want to welcome and thank our mayor, Michael Pagan, for coming here today. Mayor Pagan has been a great friend to my organization and and I'm sorry, I didn't really introduce myself, but I think you all know me. But I'm Elizabeth Davis, and I'm the executive director of the Brightside Family, and we're a group of programs and facilities that provide affordable assisted living, affordable housing, and a range of support services for older adults. And we're now Bergen County-wide, our services, but our home base is really Teaneck. And I feel very lucky to have our home base be in Teaneck, not only because Michael Began is our mayor, but because Teaneck is a community that is really, it's a progressive, diverse community. It's rich in resources, and it's been very supportive of my work and the development of affordable housing. And so thank you for coming and for your support of our project. So I want to just quickly acknowledge some of our partners this summer and the agencies and people we've worked with. Holy Name Medical Center, 5-Star Premier Living, JCC on the Palisades, Jewish Home at Rockley. This was a first, I think, that our students spent time up there, and thanks to Ezra Halevi. Okay. And Dora and Romano, elder law attorneys. And you'll hear more about the internship when Ellen speaks in a couple of minutes, but we really try to expose our student interns to the vast array of careers out there that involve working with older adults. And so they've been at hospital settings and long-term care settings, but as I go on, you'll see that they've met with, in the past, people involved in technology. This year they did meet with Andrew Thompson, who is the architect for Passaic County and is now involved in a major renovation of their long-term care center. But again, Andor and Romano, who are elder law attorneys, they spent time with Michelle Ogden, who's here from Bergen Volunteers, Jewish Family and Children's Services, Home Watch Caregivers, which is a home care agency, Rutgers University. They met was it this week or last week? Last week was Lauren Snedeker, who heads up the Rutgers School of Social Work Aging and Health Certificate Program. J&J Pharmacy with Michael, who the pharmacy is directed by Michael Fedida, who may have convinced the second intern in the history of our internship to become a pharmacist. We're not sure. We're not holding you to it. And the Bergen County Division of Senior Services. The interns also spent time within our organization's programs and facilities, including PALS. We have Beth Buckley and Jasenia Slavakoski here today. They are both administrators with our PALS program, which is based in Westwood and Garfield. We have Brightside Manor, Stephen Fetzer, who coordinates our activities and is a social worker in the making, and who is the proud grandson of two former residents at Brightside. His maternal grandmother and paternal grandfather were both residents at Brightside. They spend time with our Senior Checks Free Money Management Program, which is headed up by Alexandra Kritikos. They spent time with our development coordinator, Liz Fischetti, and they spend time with our controller, Emily Davis, who also writes out the stipend checks. So they've had quite a bit of exposure. And it has been a pleasure having them and working with all of you. So at this point, I'm going to give the mic to Ellen Rand, who's going to tell you a little bit about the history of the internship program and anything else.
Thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth. I'm Ellen Rand. I'm a chief volunteer here. I do this mainly because I love it, and because I can, and because I feel like it's important to impart all of our collective knowledge about the aging process to younger people, and to expose them to all the possibilities that are in front of them, some that we can't even imagine right now. I mean, we've exposed them to law and design and architecture and construction, and all the phases of elder living. And more. And there are so many more things that probably, as I said, we cannot even imagine just yet. So we wanted to start this program with two goals in mind. One was, ageism is sort of like the last acceptable stereotype. And we want to bust through that. We want to show people that getting older is not, the route to dementia and frailty and just end of life. No. So I think we have that as a main goal, and also to show that there are all kinds of careers that even that you wouldn't think of, but do touch on elder care. What I want to say about this season, though, is that there's a third element that's so key that's been inspirational to me, is that although the program is basically very forward-looking in terms of this is your future, we also learned from our interns that they have a great sense of agency, that they don't have to wait until they're in their 20s and 30s and 40s to try to make a difference in this culture. And they're committed to doing something now while they can. And I think that that's huge. And it certainly gives me a lot of hope at a time when things are pretty dark out there in our culture in some ways. So as Elizabeth has mentioned, we've shown them a lot. We've taught them a lot, I think. They've spoken to one-on-one at least a dozen people in various and sundry professions. They've been to at least a dozen different kinds of facilities. They represented Age-Friendly Teaneck at National Night Out. They've been involved in the Age-Friendly New Jersey summer meeting. And they've just been wonderful to work with. So I am very happy to introduce our interns. We have Camilla Leader here. We have Mindy Sherpa here. We have Reem Abuganba here. And last but not least, we have Amina Ismail. So I am going to stop talking and let Reem take the floor.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reem Abuganba, and I'm an upcoming junior at Teaneck High School. Due to the journeys and trips we have endeavored on during this internship, I was inspired by the different careers that we were exposed to the point where I wanted to be everything in my future, from doctor to nurse to lawyer, even an architect, because of the passion these people showed when talking about their careers. The way each career took part in senior service in their unique way was intriguing. When starting this internship, I did not expect to discover that all these different and diverse careers played a major role in senior care. The one trip that truly stuck with me and made me realize what I can do now as a 16-year-old was our trip to the Jewish Community Center in Tenafly. We were introduced to the many programs their center organized, aging from a couple months all the way to 100 years old. As we walked through each department, we experienced the activities that were organized for the seniors. We were fortunate enough to see the beautiful art the dementia patients had created and the smiles on everyone's faces during the dance party. It also made us realize that we ourselves know nothing about dancing. This trip made me wonder why such programs were not present in every other community as well. I especially thought about programs that allow seniors to express themselves, whether it's discussion-based, through art, or hobbies they enjoy. As I observed the programs that exist in our community, I realized that we have programs for kids and youth for all religions and cultures, but I noticed that senior programs were not prevalent throughout the different communities that make up Teaneck. It's imperative for groups of different faith and cultures to provide programs for their seniors as it unifies the community and allows space for development and growth, both for older and younger people. It's important that they also feel heard and seen in the community, to have a program that represents them, activities they enjoy, and discussions that matter most to them. I developed a proposal to be sent to the board at my mosque with a program structure to be implemented. As I envision it, the seniors can come in with their friends or even by themselves to indulge in discussions that are relevant to them, whether it's through a video or a speaker to talk live. The topics can range from social justice issues in the world to senior population, religious or cultural discussions, and how seniors can still improve and learn more about their culture and community. It can also be about youth problems and how they view the modern world now. The main reason for this part of the program is to allow seniors to feel heard. Because of the fast-paced and social media world we live in now, it has become difficult for seniors who are not involved in these apps to share their opinions and beliefs. It's extremely discouraging not being able to voice your thoughts and feel heard by others. It's important to be surrounded by people who might share a similar mindset or indulge with you in discussions that are relevant and matter to you. So why is this important? In 2022, data shows that 10% of the world is of age 65 and above. So eliminating the voices of 771 million people in the world leaves no space for change or improvement. In addition to the discussions allowing the seniors to be heard are the activities that can make or break the program and the experience of the seniors attending. Choosing activities based on a stereotype disregards the goal of the program because it does not allow the seniors to express their opinions, which is why I believe these activities can be chosen based on a survey that would be sent out beforehand and allows seniors to participate in activities they enjoy. Having an interactive activity leaves space for socializing, especially for those who attend these programs by themselves. Participating in an interactive activity encourages new friendships to form and excites new attendees to repeat their experience. A senior chosen activity is important for socialization and can encourage someone to attend again since they might not be able to participate in these activities with their loved ones, whether that's a child or a grandchild or even by themselves. So having a program that gives them access to these activities helps them enjoy themselves with people who might appreciate those same experiences, unlike someone from a different generation. When a survey was conducted by the National Health and Aging Trends Study in 2015 on older adults 65 and above to assess the seniors on the activities they enjoy, these were the results. The first three shown are physical activities, followed by cognitive activities, which are things most younger people also enjoy. This survey contradicts the ideas people tend to have on older adults, since they're usually viewed as physically incapable when they reach a certain age. The last part of the program is having food or refreshments. It might seem like a small and simple gesture just to invite people to come, but it has a much, much deeper meaning. It is similar to having dinner with your family. It creates a sense of belonging, which is especially important for older adults who live alone or have disabilities that complicate their means of communication. Following COVID-19, social isolation rates in the senior population have increased significantly, and it has become hard for the seniors to rediscover their social life and feel welcome and safe outside of their homes. A study on isolation rates by the New Jersey Department of Human Services surveyed the population of seniors 65 and above, and it showed that 44.3% of the 1.4 million 65 and above residents in New Jersey are socially isolated. Such programs help decrease the social isolation rates and allow older adults to feel heard and seen by their communities without having their identities erased or changed to fit the stereotypes and biases people tend to assume and force upon them without giving them the space to express themselves and their needs as significant parts of our communities. To end off, I would like to thank the Age-Friendly Teaneck team who granted me this great opportunity to discover this part of our community, which I might not have paid much attention to their struggles if it weren't for this internship. Within just 4 weeks, we had the opportunity to connect with individuals who possess a genuine passion for senior care and are dedicated to improving this critical and significant aspect of our society. Through these interactions, we gained invaluable insights into the vast array of careers within this field. That's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Amina Ismail, an upcoming junior at Teaneck High School. Today I'll be talking about life after retirement and what it can look like for individuals. I'll be sharing 3 stories that stood out to me. Retirement. Retirement is an experience that can vary from each individual. Depending on the level of occupancy throughout a day the person goes through, their emotions can fluctuate. But many people during retirement experience feelings of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and fatigue. It's estimated that almost 1/3 of retirees in the United States develop symptoms of depression at this stage of life. Well, what are the solutions to these problems? Picking up hobbies and passionate work to do to make a living can be an option for many. Lives Well Lived. Lives Well Lived was the first movie we watched by Skye Bergman. She was inspired by her grandmother, who was going to the gym at the age of 99. She wanted to find more people like her grandmother who did things that defined them beyond their age. Sure enough, she found 38 individuals who had lived through wars, separation from families, yet still pursued their hobbies throughout their later lives. This changed my whole perception on older adults and how they live life after retirement. It gave me a chance to take a deeper look into life experiences and the way older adults conduct healthy and meaningful lives in their later years. I got a chance to interview Skye Bergman, in which I asked her the following questions. What helped the older adults to stay motivated? She said they all had a sense of purpose greater than themselves. They knew if they sat at home all day, they would be feeling depressed. I then asked her, how do people with underlying health conditions and issues pursue their interests? A common thread that she saw among the interviewees was that they knew that they were going to face the reality of aging, but they focused on what they could do rather than what they couldn't do. I finally asked her, what advice would you give to kids and how could they connect with the elderly? She said, do as much as intergenerational work as possible. Connect, listen, and understand the wisdom they have to offer. Be a support system to them and give them a sense of comforting presence. After visiting the Richard Rada Center, I learned that many of the classes were ran by seniors, such as yoga, dance, and folk dancing, in which I learned more about Jim Gold, who's in his 70s and teaches folk dancing at the center. Originally, he was a guitarist and performed at concerts. 20 years later, he had a career change into folk dancing. He has been teaching for 40 years and had a tour business for 35. I got a chance to interview him, and during our interview, he said something that really stood out to me. There's nothing to retire from when you're doing what you like. The positive mindset Jim has created for himself shines in the work he does. Generally speaking, anyone who creates a positive mindset can see a much better quality performance. And it's even more crucial to help implement that in the elderly. Throughout the course of my research, I found a woman named Betty Sanderson, in which she said, "You're never too old to finish school." Betty enrolled in the University of Minnesota in 1955, in which she got her nursing license within a year. She decided that she was going to quit college since she was going to get married. But going to college for her bachelor's degree was her lifelong goal. 2 kids and 67 years later, she decided to go back to college to finally get a degree to her name. On May 7th, 2022, at the age of 84, Betty graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts in Multidisciplinary Studies. It was with great perseverance and passion that she was able to achieve this. After researching and talking to older adults and all the people who work in different departments of geriatric care, I learned that it takes passion, experience, and most importantly, purpose to do what they do. In the 2 stories I mentioned, both had themes of integrity. Tying this back to my presentation title, Aging into Wisdom never stops. Gaining knowledge never stops. Regardless of age, everyone should make a pledge to add more purpose in life. And that's what Age-Friendly is ultimately about. Whether you are 60 years old or 16 years old, live life with purpose and see how successful you can be. I also wanted to take time to appreciate Colleen, Elizabeth, Ellen, and everyone involved in giving me and the interns an opportunity to explore different career paths in aging and just educating us about the elderly. It gives me a much deeper sense of appreciation of not only what you guys do, but also how much the older generation contributes to our community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mindy Sherpa, one of the interns at Age-Friendly Teaneck summer program. Throughout the internship, I have been to many senior programs, assisted living centers, and independent living centers. These visits gave me a more in-depth perspective of the issue in justice and equity in aging. Equity issues in aging refers to the unequal access to resources, opportunities, and health care that older adults may face based on various factors such as socioeconomic status, race, gender, and geographic location. These disparities can impact the quality of life, health outcomes, and overall well-being of the older individuals. Addressing these equity issues requires implementing policies and programs that ensure fair and inclusive support for all aging populations. From my experience through this internship, there are many inequities in senior programs between high and low-income neighborhoods. Justice in aging is a significant issue that must be addressed because people are living longer. Therefore, there is a growing population of older adults that are experiencing inequities as they age. Whether it's discrimination such as ageism or lack of affordable housing, as well as justice in aging involving race, gender, sexuality, disability, or socioeconomic status, leading to different experiences and needs among the older populations. Addressing justice in aging requires comprehensive policies, advocacy efforts, and community support to promote a fair and inclusive environment for all older adults, especially when it comes to high and low-income senior programs. According to the Urban Institute study on the racial makeup of high and low-income communities, most of these families in low-income communities are racial or ethnic minorities. 4 million low-income families, or 30% of the total are Hispanic. 2.9 million, 22%, are Black or African American, and about 800,000, 6%, are other non-whites. The key is to ensure that all senior programs, regardless of income level, promote social engagement, physical activity, mental stimulation, and overall well-being for their residents. Social isolation is a more common issue in low-income senior programs, as I have witnessed with my visits to various senior settings, that fewer people show up to the low-income programs compared to the number of people that show up to the high-income programs. This lack of participation in low-income senior programs leads to a higher risk of social isolation within the older adults of the low-income neighborhood. Social isolation have a negative impact on older adults, both physically and mentally. Some key effects include mental health decline, physical health issues, increased risk of cognitive decline, reduced quality of life, and increased mortality risk. Addressing social isolation in older adults is crucial for promoting their well-being and overall health. Encouraging regular social interactions and providing opportunities for community engagement and fostering strong social networks can help mitigate the negative effects of social isolation and improve the quality of life for older adults. Therefore, we thought of creating a more equitable kind of program to increase participation and decrease inequity. Brightside Buddies. Brightside Buddies is an idea that came to me as we spoke to many professionals and their thoughts on what a major issue in aging is as of now. All professionals stated that social isolation is a major issue as of right now in older adults. Therefore, I thought of Brightside Buddies, which would be an impactful program to decrease social isolation among older adults if implemented. The program would be through Teaneck High School, including student volunteers being buddied up with residents of Brightside Manor based on similar interests. It would create intergenerational connections, prevent social isolation for older adults, and also help the students of Teaneck High School earn volunteering hours for graduation requirements. Through this, we hope to implement more engaging programs and activities for the older adults of our community, hence creating equity in aging to the best of our abilities.
Careers in elderly care nurse practitioner. Introduction. Good afternoon, my name is Camilla. I'm an upcoming senior at Teaneck High School, and I decided to be a part of this internship because I wanted to explore the different specialties in healthcare. Who inspired me? I come from a family of caregivers. Coming from a lineage of dedicated caregivers, the ethos of compassion and service runs deep within my family. My grandmother's courageous move to the United States, driven by her determination to provide a brighter future for her children as a single mother, laid the foundation for our journey. Upon her arrival, she fearlessly embraced the role of a caregiver, channeling her nurturing spirit into caring for those with special needs. Inspired by her example, my mother followed suit and became a applied behavior analyst. Devoting her professional life to working with individuals facing challenges, the significance of caregiving became even more apparent as my older brother with special needs enriched my life, teaching me the virtues of patience and understanding. 4 years ago, I had the role of an informal caregiver as I stepped in to support my mother when my grandfather was diagnosed with lung cancer. Through those difficult times, I learned the true essence of empathy and companionship, reaffirming my family's legacy of caregiving and nurturing a profound calling to make a positive impact in the lives of others. Why I did this internship? I've always been drawn to the field of healthcare, but my desire to become a nurse practitioner was solidified through a transformative experience. Initially inclined towards pursuing a career in home care, my perspective shifted as I became interested in the intricacies of nursing during my age-friendly internship. The opportunity to engage with and provide care for older adults opened my eyes to the profound impact that nurse practitioners can have on patients' lives. Joining the age-friendly internship not only deepened my understanding of geriatric care, but also unveiled the immense potential for growth and meaningful connections in the nurse practitioner profession. I am now driven by an aspiration to blend my passion for personalized home care with the advanced skills set of a nurse practitioner, delivering comprehensive and compassionate care to individuals of all ages. What is a nurse practitioner? What is a nurse practitioner and what do they do? A nurse practitioner is a nurse who has advanced clinical education and training. NPs share many of the same duties as doctors. They perform physical exams, diagnose and treat diseases, other health conditions, and prescribe medication. A nurse practitioner must have a graduate level degree. Nurse practitioner requires 6 to 8 years of education and nurse training to be eligible for certification in geriatrical care. You also have to gain experience working as a registered nurse. What's the difference? What's the difference between a nurse practitioner and a registered nurse? Although both registered nurses and nurse practitioners focus on patient observation and care, the largest difference between the two roles are that NPs are permitted to prescribe treatments, order tests, diagnose patients, duties normally performed by physicians where RNs are not. Meeting with Kim at Brightside Manor. Kim is a nurse practitioner at Brightside Manor. Her journey to becoming a nurse practitioner was anything but a straight path, marked by an evolution of her career. Initially, Kim delved into the world of obstetrics and gynecology, a field she adored. However, the complexities of dealing with parents proved daunting, prompting a shift in her trajectory. With a shift towards a new direction, Kim found herself at Holy Name Hospital, dedicating an impressive 15 years to the institution. In this time, she discovered her true calling in caring for seniors, forming a deep connection with the geriatric field. Meeting with George at Brightside Manor. George Angulo, a dedicated nurse practitioner, holds a pivotal role as the administrator at Brightside Manor in Teaneck, New Jersey. His profound passion for his work has led him to make the decision, despite living in Orlando, Florida, to commit staying at Brightside Manor due to his dedication to his patients and the faculty. He told me he thrives in the fast-paced atmosphere at Brightside, embracing the challenges and finding solace in the rush of his responsibilities. Every weekend, he embarks on a journey back to his family in Orlando, demonstrating his commitment to both his profession and his loved ones. So after being exposed to all these different careers and being able to interview Kim and George, I identified 3 important values that I felt were essential to being a nurse practitioner. Service. NPs can empower individuals to make better health choices and make lifestyle changes that help prevent chronic diseases. Responsibilities. Healthcare workers have a legal and ethical responsibility to protect their patients they care for. Last but not least, empathy. Nurturing a more empathetic relationship can lead to better outcomes for patients. Thank you.
Why don't you all stand and get another round of applause? You can see why we're hugely proud of these girls. So if anybody has any observations or comments or questions. Okay, well.